what we're shaving with tonight. It's going to be a new to me brush. This is an amber and tortoiseshell handle, and the knot is a Manchurian from Romero. My first time trying a knot from that maker. I'm going to do my usual thing. And you can tell it is a 2-band knot, so we know it's going to have, it's likely to have some backbone. And I've heard from that about that maker that just some inconsistency there. There were some brushes that were just amazing and some that were not very good. So, all right, we'll see what happens. The blade we're going to use today has been used 55 times. It's my old faithful Nacet, and we've got the 5 dots on the back. So today is 56. Before you know it, we'll be at 60. The blade is in Karve Christopher Bradley razor. This is a 3.5-inch handle, and I think it's a great razor. I really enjoy it. As you can probably see, look at the gap there. This is a more aggressive of the base plates. This is the E base plate. I did not buy the F because the E was kind of too much for me. And I decided to try this blade in this too aggressive razor, because this blade prefers to be an aggressive razor. So let's just see what happens. Just in case it's nasty, I did bring my my D plate, and my D plate I know gives me a good shave. For my skin at least, there's a big difference between the D and the E. The D just must have been right at the edge of what makes me happy, and then push it a little bit further, and the E is just way off. You know, that's just the way it goes sometimes, I reckon. Unless the gaps that he put on there weren't even. I assume they're evenly spaced among the different letters. So today we have kind of a brown colored, wonderful fall scent. This is L&L Grooming Darkfall, and this is a good season to bring that in. As a matter of fact, it's raining outside now. You may hear the thunder, but Darkfall is my first time trying it. Never, based on the descriptions on the internet, I just never wanted to get it, but now that I smell it, I can't believe I waited this long. So I'm going to take a 1/4 teaspoon. I know that this base usually needs the whole 1/4 teaspoon. L&L Grooming did change, and Declaration Brushworks kind of, they merged, or he bought them, or I don't know what, but Declaration now is Declaration Grooming. And so this is very soft, very creamy soap. This is the Bison tallow version, and I do like the tallow. I've tried the Icarus base, and I do probably want to get maybe an Icarus soap. What did they have? They had the Harmony just come out, but that's incense, and that's not me. But the other one that was there, maybe I'll think of it later. That looked pretty good. Oh, vetiver, something vetiver, dirtyver, I think. Just kind of a dirty vetiver. I've come to really like the vetiver type scents, so I think that's going to be a winner for me. Try out the new base. Tried it out in a sample of the Shore one, and I mean it was a good base. I tend to prefer more dense bases that have more economy and that sort of thing instead of creams. All right, there we go. We're ready to go. I'm gonna water my face. 24 hours since my last shave. going to shake off all the water. I didn't really hold too much. That might take some kind of practice to work it in or something. And then we'll start in on the soap. Well, I tell you what, I like the way the brush is behaving right now. Kind of flopping around and leaning over and stuff. Hopefully it'll kind of continue to be flexible. It's actually not splaying too much. It's kind of just flopping back and forth. All right, now I'll take my syringe, little kind of baby medicine syringe, and makes it really easy to add just a little bit of water or a lot of water at a time. It also makes it easy to track it so that I can add the same amount of water next time. Okay, a little bit sweeter right now. Lost some of the dankness. Yeah, there we go. Now it's acting right. It just didn't have quite enough water and stuff. So these 2-band knots are usually a little bit more, have a little bit more backbone than like silver tips and 3-band knots. I started out with the silver tips when I got badgers because I really like the softness there. Be interesting if my tastes change to the 2 bands that, you know, some of them offer really soft tips, but just the extra backbone added. And so it's coming together nicely. Still needs water, obviously. The handle is you know, an attractive one. I could use it to be a bit bigger, but you know, can't have everything. Got this at a good price. Bought it used, this brush. Yeah, that's nice. Just keep adding water. I'm pretty sure we're kind of far away from where we need to be, so instead of just adding a half right there, added the whole teaspoon. So now we're at 2.5 teaspoons of water. Hopefully I didn't overload this thing. Let's see, has the soap, yeah, we have scrubbed up all the soap from the bottom. I'm liking this thing, the way this thing is working the soap. I like the tension that it feels, you know. I feel you can feel the springiness of the brush as you're working it. Seems pretty good. I don't think, it's not giving me an impression that it's going to be too stiff and too much backbone. Let's hope that's the case. Yeah, I didn't give it too much water. Got a great lather. Nice sheen on it. Look at that. Gonna add a little bit of water. I'm gonna do a little bit less at a time. I don't want to, you know, we're close to where we need to stop, so I don't want to overdo it. A lot of the YouTube guys, when they mix up their lather, you'll see them adding just a few drops, whereas I'm adding half a teaspoon. Well, one of the reasons for that is that I usually start with a much drier brush. I'd start with a brush that's just damp instead of A lot of them will take it and have it full of water and then just kind of shake a little bit out. So they're starting out with quite a bit of water in the brush. And that's great if you know the soap base that you're dealing with. Like when I lather Williams, I start out with a medium heavy brush with water, and Williams really likes that. Let's take a look at the peaks. A little bit of elasticity. Let me go ahead and put a little more in there. There's a speed control on YouTube, so you don't have to watch this real time. Change playback or change the speed to 1.5 or so. Now if once I write down how much water I used, I'll be able to start maybe save a little time next time. Add it a little bit more aggressively, like maybe 1 teaspoon at a time until I get close. Yeah, this looks terrific. Definitely not overloaded with water. That's great. And look at the curves. They're gentle hills. And then at the very top, you can have a peak or two, no big deal. But you want those, look at that elasticity right there. Look at that mountain. And this guy stretching out. Let's do a finger test. Oh yeah, good cushion. I do feel that I have ridges on my fingerprints, on my fingertips, but only just. So let's shave with that. Some things to look for. I'm not saying that's what you should look for with your soap. Those are some things to study as you put your lather together. And then you figure out where you like to stop. Because where I like to stop adding water may be different. Alright. I'm going to rinse my face. Alright. Here we go. Let's try this, bro. Oh, that's soft. I do wish the handle could be a little bigger, but this is a great brush. It is splaying easily enough, and I bet that'll get better over time. This is very nice. You know, it's not super strong smelling, which is kind of interesting because it's kind of pungent from the jar. It's a great scent. The strength right now, I'm gonna have to say it's 3 to 4. I like it. I'd prefer it ideally a little higher, just so I could really enjoy it through the shave. 3. We'll see if it changes as the shave moves on. All right. So this is a base plate that has been too aggressive for me in the past. "56 uses. This is shaving really well. Just cutting right through the hairs, no pulling, no irritation. Okay, well, there's a little tiny bit of pulling, but it feels like I'm shaving. You know, it doesn't feel like it's pulling. Interesting. I am probably opening up my handle angle a little bit more than usual. I just kind of figured that might be the best way to start off, and I think it's panning out nicely. Sometimes with more aggressive razors, that's what I have to do. Now the dart's the opposite. I have to bring the handle in. The dart from Blackland razors. It's another wonderful piece. Well, this is working really well. And see, this is kind of why I keep, if I can, why I keep things that don't work for me. Because you never know. Well, I'm a hoarder, for one. But in the world of shaving, you just because it doesn't work for you now, it just doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that a blade won't come along at some point that is so smooth that you have to knock it up to something really aggressive. And then you get this great shave. I can't imagine this is not going to be a good shave. So, very cool. All right, I'm going to rinse. All right, face is, or the goatee is dripping with a little water. And the face does have a few extra drops on there. That felt about right. So I'm liking this brush. First impression. I think I'll have enough lather. So let's just dip back in and thicken this up. Sometimes I get really nice wafts of the scent coming up. Razor had plenty of glide that first pass, so very nice. It's not too thick. If you have never tried to see how rich with water you could make your lather, it is a good exercise to do. A lot of people, I think, are shaving with lathers that are just too dry, relatively speaking. Sure, they've got some water in them, but I did a little experiment where I really pushed as much water in as I could into some soaps. And for the good soaps, it really helped me. And it was a good, oh man, that's a good feel in this shave. It was a good experience because I learned how far that some soaps could be taken. And then I learned that others, could not be taken that far. And then I learned more about what I might like. I mean, this is some really good glide and slickness right here. And this E is providing a very comfortable shave at this point. Who knows, maybe when I used it before, I just wasn't having a good day, or my lather wasn't right. Shoot, this is actually feeling so good, I might have to get that F. Very nice. Now, occasionally I've run into aggressive razors that will irritate me, but they do it progressively, is my assumption, because they feel really good the first pass. Second pass, it'll feel okay. And then by the third pass, I'm really irritated and I didn't really see it coming. Nice scent on this. Yeah, the fall, dark fall. They're very appropriate. It's kind of a dark, dank woods, burned woods. It's all in there. This time I forgot to rinse. Well, it's not mandatory. You don't have to do it. But because I didn't do it, I'm going to go ahead and add a little water to my brush, since I would not have had the water on my face after a rinse. It's no secret, this is, one of the best soap bases out there. And so it has given me a great shave for sure. And I'm really happy with this brush. Turns out to be one of the good ones, it seems. All right. Just a light touch, since this is my sensitive area with kind of tricky hairs. Experimenting with the angles here to see which one might cut the best in this weird area where the hair just kind of turns and rolls around and goes different directions. Oh, duh. The reason I'm able to use this E is because of this old blade. It's so smooth. It's so smooth that that the E is able to be aggressive, but it's not killing my skin. And that's what it is. My technique hasn't improved. It's this old blade. Very nice. Third pass down the drain. I'm going to rinse it off this time. So I'm really pleased with the results. This is 3 passes only, and I could walk away from this shave. There are still some hairs right here that haven't been cut that show a little bit of length, but they're so scant and so few that I could walk away and be done. But let's not do that. I've got the time. I've got the brush. So I do wish, I've got big hands and I'm holding this little piece, but it's working out all right. Be nice if it was bigger, but pretty handle. Usually not into yellows and reds, but I think it works. Oh, I just meant to do the neck. Old habits. Oh, this just feels great. Yeah, oh, those tips are crazy soft. Wow. Yeah, that's terrific. I can see why people who manage to stumble upon a good Romero brush are really pleased with them. But I could also understand, I mean, because they're not cheap brushes, I could understand if you'd be pretty upset if you decide to spend the money and you got one that was bad. I don't know what their customer service was like. But anyway, so this is that's a great brush. All right. I think the secret here is to ride the bar instead of the top cap at this point in the game. And I'm being as light as I can. Right now I'm going cross grain. Here's in this area. Grow diagonally. Now in this area they grow basically sideways, and so a straight up and down is a good way to do a cross grain pass. So, you know, I never did the face map thing. I just kind of started shaving. I did a thing where I'll look at an area really closely if I just did some kind of normal passes, and then whatever was left, that's what I focused on. I mean, right up here, you don't need to map that, because mine, at least mine, just goes straight down. No big deal. All right, rinse. So that, I'm glad that I didn't stir up any irritation with that fourth neck pass, because it didn't really net me too much in terms of more cut hairs. There's still a few there with just tiny tips that I can see. If I could go against the grain, if my skin didn't get all irritated when I would do that, then I'm sure I could just knock everything down with no problem. But that's not the way it works for me. So this E is a tremendous tool when I have an old blade that is smooth, that is just working really smooth. I think it's what takes advantage. It takes advantage of the strengths and weaknesses of a blade that's been used a lot. No, I'm not. I do have just a little bit of irritation, like maybe here and here, but it's almost like it's not a pinpoint. It's more of a larger area, but it's very, very minor. Yeah, I think maybe over here, and that's it. That's it. Most of the life of this blade, I have zero irritation. But this is nothing that a good balm isn't going to be able to solve. So let's go find one. Just wet my face just a little bit to help this balm spread. This is the Prix de Provence. It's French, 63, which is a kind of a warm, peppery, spicy type of scent. It is a great soap if you're looking for economy. It may be like $16 or so, but it's a triple milled soap that will last for a very, very long time. I mean, maybe on the order of years rather than months. Yep, that water helped that to spread very nicely. That's a good scent. Prix de Provence 63 aftershave balm. That's one of the good things you can get on Amazon. Amazon has a bunch of shaved junk that you should stay away from, but the Prix de Provence are good products, and they do sell those on Amazon too. All right, yeah, the irritation's gone. I'm a happy camper. Really nice shave. Yeah, very close. Very close, I'd say 92%. Baby butt smooth on my cheeks without going against the grain. And I think my economy was about right. I like to have a little bit of margin, and that's about a pass, or a little bit more, pass and a half left over. So that's a great scent. I really like it. I wish it was a little stronger, but that's a good fall scent. Very nice. Well, fall, winter. Shoot. That's just really, it's well designed. I have smelled a couple of scents like this that they tried to bring in burned wood or something like that, and what they brought in smelled just like an old ashtray in a bad way. And this one is not that way. They did really good research and found a good happy medium with all those elements. It's not too, sometimes there's a cedar scent that some people bring in. It's a really high cedar that almost is distressing. It's pungent. That's not in here. It's smooth. Yeah, I'm really glad that I bought this used from someone. Well, they hadn't used it yet, apparently. Looks brand new. But I bought it on the used market instead of just buying it from the retailer. It's a great way to save money. All right, well, I'm going to clean up. Yeah, this PDP 63, I think it's matching very nicely with the Darkfall. Now, obviously, if you want that dankness, then you might want to get something. If you want that kind of dark, woody stuff, then maybe pick a different balm, maybe even the one that goes with it. But this steers this in another direction, which is still very enjoyable. So I think it's compatible nicely. So how much water did we end up using? Almost 3.5. Really looks like 3 1/4, a little bit over 3 1/4 teaspoons of water. So there we go. And so now I have that number, and so I can more quickly add water next time. Probably be fine for this base. Write that down and keep track. So use 56 is in the books. Really happy with it. The soap, such a great scent. I would love it if it was just a little stronger. One of the things I kind of get from it is almost like a rubbery bike tire pungent scent but it's more of a natural scent to it. But I was trying to use words to kind of point you in the right direction. But and I really get that from the tub. I don't really get it when it's on my face. It mellows out. But still, it's right on the line for me in terms of scent strength. So I'm happy with it. And I'm sure I know a lot of people are like it. So there we go. I'm in good shape. Really happy with it. All right, well, there we go. I hope there was something here for you. And I sure learned a lot about the smoothness of the old blade, working and playing very happily in a razor that is normally too aggressive for me. So neat. There we go. I'm Sugar Daddy Shaves. Have a good night. Take care.